You can have the biggest gifts in the world, all of the talents, years of experience, and endless education. However, if you don't have the confidence and the courage to show up and share who you are and what you do with the world, you will easily be overlooked in this new AI world. Hello, my name's Careeta Robert-Green. I'm a career and leadership coach, and I work with leaders to be more bold and confident in their careers. Over the past decade, I've worked with thousands of leaders for them to develop their personal brand, build that self-belief and confidence, and really step out and elevate in their careers. I was having a conversation the other day with a client, and they shared with me that they didn't really know my journey or my story of how I got to where I am today. And it struck me that I haven't really been sharing that. And if you are somebody who always is empowering other people and helping other people, one of the things you may notice is that you don't really talk about yourself that much. So today I'm going to share with you the highlights of my story and some of the lowlights and the challenges that I faced along the way. So let's go. I grew up in inner city London, West London to be precise, and growing up, I didn't really believe in myself. I lacked confidence. I used to look at all the other girls in my girls' school and think, I want to be like them. I didn't ever really stop and think, well, what's special about me? And I thought that the only way that I could be successful was if I went to university, got a good job, and then worked my way up the career ladder. So here I am graduating from Kingston University, a sociology degree, ready and raring to go. I was ready for the world. However, when I finished university, I found that thousands of other people were graduating too, and it wasn't as easy as I thought to jump onto that career ladder. I was met with lots of feedback that I needed more experience. But how was I going to get experience if nobody was going to give me experience? So I found that really frustrating. So I went back and forth with people for a while whilst I tried to land my first job. And one of the companies that I found to work in was Dell EMC. Now, working in Dell was amazing because it gave me an opportunity to really experience and put to use all of my skills. See, I had lots of gifts and talents, but I wasn't really aware of exactly what they were until I started to work in this company. Because then I realized I'm good at training, I'm good at speaking, I'm good at organizing, and I'm really good at making things happen and creating experiences. So I became quite successful in my role. And on the outside, it looked like everything was going well. And after a few years, I started to feel like I had more to give. I started to feel like something was missing, but I just wasn't sure exactly what that was. I traveled abroad. Here I am. I went abroad on holiday to meet my friends over in Dubai. And I also done a lot of living, let's say. However, even with all this living that was going on, there was this emptiness inside me. I just felt unfulfilled. I felt there was more that I should be doing, and I wasn't exactly sure what it was and how to find it. And that was until somebody said to me, well, why don't you go and see a life coach? And I was like, a life coach? What's that? Never heard of one before. However, I thought if there's anyone in the world that can save me, it's going to be a life coach. So I signed up to this life coach, and she sat down and she said to me, what's your strengths? What's your weaknesses? What's your 5-year plan? And I'm like, wow, I have no idea. I have no idea. I could tell you what everyone else is doing, but I have no idea about myself. And I said, but you know what? This is what everybody comes to me for. They come to me for this advice. They come to me for help when they need to start their new career. What is this? And she told me that this is life coaching. I said, so how can I be a coach? And she told me about a coaching company called the Coaching Academy. And back in 2010, there weren't many coaches that looked like me, age 24, Black female from the inner city. And I decided in that moment that I wanted to be a coach too. I hadn't got years of experience like the other coaches. However, I was a really good listener and had some natural skills and a lot of life experience, let me tell you. So I went on to train to be a coach with the Coaching Academy. And in 2010, I became one of the youngest certified Black female coaches in the UK. At the time, the coaching industry was mainly senior corporate professionals, your top 5 leaders in a company, very exclusive and very, very senior. And there I was, 24 years old, rocking along saying, I'm going to be a life coach, and then actually becoming one. Okay. And one of the challenges I found once I graduated was I couldn't find anybody in the corporate world that wanted to hire a 24-year-old with very limited experience. And I struggled to get a job as a coach. So I thought, okay, what can I do? I really want to serve people. I really want to help people like me to find out how to set goals, how to be more confident, and how to own their gifts. So I started my own company called Born with a Gift. And back then, I had never ran a business before. I did not know exactly what to do. So I sought the help of lots of business advisors and people to help me whilst I began to build my career as a coach. And here you could see in the pictures, I'm there collecting my certificate from the Coaching Academy. And also, I used to hold my own events where I would hire conference rooms in hotels and invite lots of professionals to come along and learn about goal setting. You could see in the bottom right-hand side, that's my first ever event. Over 90 people came. Now, how I got the room to be so packed was use social media. Because at the time, Facebook had just been introduced, social media was quite new, and I was sharing my journey of becoming a coach online. So people were slowly becoming enrolled along the journey with me. And I found that social media was quite powerful in enabling me to be able to connect with people on a one-to-one basis, but it wasn't one-to-one, it was one-to-many. And that was how I was able to spread the words. And you could see me being part of a finalist for the Precious Awards with some amazing other females as well. After running a business for a number of years, I had been pouring into everybody else, helping everybody else. And I didn't realize that I was being burnt out. Now, I don't know if you can relate to being somebody who's always helping other people. And then before you know it, all of a sudden, you're burnt out yourself. So I was like an empty cup. I had nothing left to give to anybody. I stopped investing in my personal development. And all of a sudden, I felt like I need to do something else. So I went back to the corporate world, worked in a number of companies in HR, really started to rebuild that corporate world career again, done my master's in international human resource management. And then after a while, 2020 came. And 2020 was the start of a whole new journey. In the January, my gran passed away. And then a few months later, my best friend of 18 years, the closest person to me, suddenly passed away in the midst of the pandemic. And in that same week, my role was made redundant. It was a moment for me to just stop and think to myself, what am I doing? I know what my gifts are, I know what my skills are, but I'm not doing it. So at this time, I decided to invest in my personal development. I signed up to some intense leadership programs and really poured back into myself because I knew that if I was going to restart my business, I wanted to do it from a place where I'd poured into myself enough that I can now pour into other people. So I invested over 6,000 hours worth of training and development and got my own coaches, my own mentors, and started back as an online business. And since starting, I've coached thousands of people now internationally because I mainly am a virtual coach. So international clients from around the world. And as you can see here, I've been fortunate enough to have been selected from LinkedIn to be one of their creators on their creator program. I've partnered with Google to run I Am Remarkable sessions on self-promotion. I also partner with Task Human and deliver lots of coaching workshops for companies. And I also have launched the Unwrap Your Gift podcast. and worked with a number of amazing executive senior leaders behind the scenes alongside universities. So I say all this to say that even though sometimes it feels like you're quitting on your dreams, it feels like you're giving up, you just may need to take that time out to recharge so that you can come back much more focused and ready to go to the next level.